guys are out there in the fourth quarter. I know it's a close game and there is some.
It's not a big roster. It's not a big roster.
Yeah. So there's other reasons that.
But those guys aren't good enough to
biggest
sit.
reasons. If they were, they would be.
Well, but they're not.
I mean, look, we've seen.
Well, that's the concern here, is that these are guys that are going to be relied upon in the rotation, and they're not able to dominate summer.
That's the number one takeaway. So, but this is where we're stuck a little. Is yes, you want to see them dominate, but you're also, and you want to see them blow by people. That's just not their thing per se. But you do want to see a level where it's clear.
Drain shots. Just drain shots.
I don't even care about if they make them. I want to be able to walk and say that guy's better than that guy. I want to see good looks. I would rather see Romeo take it to the rim, break a guy down, break his ankles, pull up for a jumper and miss it, than hit a contested three. Like, that's fine. Good. I don't mind it's good that you hit it. But like, I want to see him look like he's better than the people out there. And you want to see, so between us, you're looking at Romeo and thinking that. I do think, right or wrong, or whether he's given the benefit of the doubt. And they told a little anecdote late in the game there when they were talking about Romeo's press conference about him going. In print, it reads like, they asked me if I wanted to go and I went. But the reality was they kind of told me I had to go, but I didn't really want to. He's got a too cool for school sort of attitude.
Yeah, but he sort of added it to the end too. He was just like, I want to go. I wanted to go.
Yeah, I want it. I'm in. I'll do this. This sounds fun. Let's do it.
I think some of that is genuine, John. I think some of it is. But the thing with me, with Romeo on offense that bothered me a bit was sort of like, I felt like he was just going through the motions. I felt like he was looking at his options and just like, I'm just going to take a pull-up jump shot here. I guess I could attack, but let's see if I can just make this three-pointer here. Like, I could see his thought process, and I didn't like it. I felt like he was just sort of going with the easier options. And listen, it is the very first game of Summer League, but to your point, I mean, Romeo, he didn't play a whole lot his last two seasons, but we're talking about 50 regular season games, one playoff series. I expected a little more offensively, at least to show a little more of a spark, more energy.
But I do want to say this, okay? And again, I'm not being a Romeo defender. If you asked me, gun to my head, I'm not. If you ask me, gun to my head, is Romeo going to be a productive pro? I'd say no. And honestly, I'd say the same thing for Nesmith. To be honest, if you ask me, like, what do you think?
Jalen Johnson looked much better.
Because you look at other guys, right, and they look better. So just snap judgments, I don't think so. The reason I'm not bullish on the guys, I'm saying this is the only path to them being a better team, is these guys who you're going to count on for minutes have to elevate their games to the point that they're legit rotation players. Because again, we talked about the talent drop off. You can't go from Tatum and Brown to Romeo and Nesmith and have the gulf be so frigging wide. It's ridiculous. You can't have it go from, all-star Olympic level talent to G League or Vegas League talent. It's too big a drop off, and it's what's going to kill the team.
Well, that's the context that really hurts you here, is that these guys look like they belong out there, which isn't what you want them to not look like.
You don't want to. You want them to separate.
They look like they're right out there, just like fitting right in among these G Leaguers, overseas guys, rookies in particular, being at the same level of them. A late round pick in Johnson, second round pick in Sharif Cooper, who looked like he fit right in with all these guys throughout much of this game. This was all. No one stood out for much of this game.
That's the thing. If they don't dominate in an obvious way, then you're looking.
Yeah, you're looking for things to point out and grasp to here. I think, and I don't know what you and Josue and Jimmy saw out there, but the one thing I'll give Romeo is that the passing does look a little better. There's some turnovers here, but you can deal with turnovers and trying things and, taking some risk and failing in Summer League ultimately. Pritchard,
my back,
shooting still looks amazing. Yeah, I was just going off what you were about to say, John.
No, but all I want to say is Romeo had more flashes, okay? In addition, once he pulled back his hair, he hit all his threes.
The threes look good. The passing looked good.
And the passing looked good, and the ball handling looked good. He just didn't look like he was locked in every moment. To me, Nesmith still looks like an shop sort of guy, where like great energy is great, but at a certain point you want to dial back that energy and have a little bit more refinement to his game. I'm still not seeing that. I would have liked to see him a little bit more. I would have liked to see the game slow down for him. I don't like a Vegas Summer League game going too fast for Nesmith in year 2.
I don't like that. 3 too. I mean, we got the shot down late last year.
Yeah. And it still looks
he's
a little
still running
hitchy.
around like a crazy guy. Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy guy. Like he's so surprised when somebody's there. He turns around and slams into a guy, gets called for a foul. He's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "It's basketball. There's guys everywhere, dude."
Right.
You know? They struggled.
The other thing is, it's the first summer league game. Like, I don't want to get too high or too low about any of these performances. I'd like to, take a overview look of the summer league once there's a few more games that are played. But I just wasn't like you guys. I wasn't like head over heels like pumped about any of the current like rostered Celtics guys didn't really like wow me today, which I was hoping to get maybe a couple wow factors in. But bright spot would be Yam for sure.
No.
Who?
Yam?
No, Yam, but I'm talking about like
Yam's not even on the roster
Nesmith.
yet.
Yeah, exactly. I'm talking about the guys who are on the roster.
Oh, he's
like
going to be.
Pritchard, Nesmith. Basically, Pritchard, Nesmith, Romeo. Pritchard did hit those shots. He had that deep shot from like right in front of the logo there. So kind of came on a little bit with that 3-pointer, but didn't really like Bobby alluded to. He didn't really do a whole lot inside that arc today. I don't know. A little bit of a mixed.
I feel like he made a point to show his distance a bit. Like he's been working on that.
Yeah, totally.
All right.
I mean, that's good. I mean, obviously, you got to be able to hit those 30-footers. So
that would.
I like that.
Even if he's coming off the bench, I think that changes things, or that at least adds a valuable weapon for the Celtics. Off the bench.
So this is my biggest frustration. I said this to you guys during the game. It doesn't look like Yam's that far off from earning some minutes here. If that's the level that the core guys from last year are at, and this is the level he's at coming in, again, you don't want to overreact to one game, as Jimmy said there, but there's just such an opening among the young core on this team that also reminds me of something I said at the end of last season. If you see some guys out there that maybe have some upside beyond what Romeo and Pritchard and some of these other guys have at this point, maybe just swap them out. At this point, you're just over the tax, so the tax isn't a concern. You're not married to any of these guys ultimately. So if you really like someone over Carson in particular, as you guys throw around like, all right, who cares about what Carson's doing? They still could, I guess, but up until now, they haven't swapped out Carson for another young player that maybe would fit in better with what they're trying to do here and have some long-term upside or just bring some immediate needs to this team right now. Like there were quite a number of guys around the NBA, and I guess Chris Dunn could be an example of this that you buy into, hope that there's still some upside there, and give them the opportunities that the Celtics team's going to have. Because if Nesmith, Langford, Pritchard, all these guys don't have a ceiling and you're about to spend a whole year giving them a bunch of minutes, then this year becomes even more of a waste. So I just wasn't blown away by anything these guys did out there. I was with John. Like Langford, Nesmith looked exactly the same as they did last year.
And the same as it's you look around the court, you'd be like, right, you just want to see like, ooh, that all you need is one or two things where it stands out, be like, ooh, that guy.
Yeah.
Ooh, look what that guy did.
You can tell he's a lottery pick or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You could see the thing that makes the difference there. And again, you'll excuse it for first-year players when they're erratic, but you look for those flashes. But again, a player like Romeo, who's in year 3, and Nesmith year 2, and I know neither of them have had the benefit of a real offseason. But you're right. You do want to see Romeo's a 3-year NBA a third-year NBA veteran, despite the fact that he hasn't played. You definitely want to see him play with a little bit more. But that's the thing is, I honestly think for him, he's like, again, right or wrong, he does have this vibe that it's not beneath him, but he's kind of like, he's not taking it seriously in the sense of like, I'm proving to the organization here at Vegas League that I belong. This isn't like playing for my roster spot. I still think he's going to prove himself more in practice and training camp and exhibition season and into the season where like he might take that a bit more seriously. And this is kind of like, I'm just staying loose and scrimmaging here. So like while our expectations are we're dying to see Romeo take that next level, I don't know that he's approaching Vegas Summer League with that level, with the same level of urgency of a lot of fans and analysts. That's my, and again, it's not just a defense. It's not just excuse making. I really think that that's his mentality. I don't think he's like,
well, it's the wrong mentality.
But the thing is, maybe like what they might say to him is, this is part of your training. Just get loose. Just go out there. Have fun.
Just get loose.
He's not playing for a spot here.
No, he's not playing for a spot.
Exactly. Just get loose, but also fit in. Right. I think that's what he's sort of. That's got to be his approach, because at the end of the day, you want to show that you can fit in with these guys and that you're you're an asset moving forward. But at the same time, he knows if he does anything outside of scoring 20 points or going off, no one's sort of going to be like, oh well, look at that kid Romeo, he's really got it, you know. So I think at
like
the same
he might
time,
still stink. I'm just not like for him. I look at
Yeah, well, no, yeah, I got you. He's trying to fit in, but at the same time, I don't think he has the mindset of being like, I got to go out there and crush it the same way someone like Yam is, because he feels like a lot more is at stake, and there is, you know, for someone like him.
Right. No, there is more like for Yam to prove, I guess, in the fact that he's, you know, coming from overseas and he doesn't have a spot on the roster than
or even Pritchard. Someone like Pritchard, I feel like has a little more to prove, you know.
Yeah, definitely. But I think, I mean, at the end of the day,
people here don't agree. People here want to see him aggressive, and
well, that's what I was about to say. Like at the end of the day, these guys are all competitors, athletes. You know, they've been playing competitive basketball since, you know, they can remember. I can't imagine they're going out there and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna go on cruise control. Like, I mean, if you're Romeo, yeah, you're going into your third year, but the first 2 years were a waste, trash, garbage, you know, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you had the COVID year in his rookie year, and he barely played, and he was hurt, and then year 2, I mean, people literally thought he may have died because they didn't see him for like the first half of the season. I mean, this guy is about the most unexperienced third-year player probably in the NBA. So it's not like he should feel like he's earned anything. So if I'm Romeo, I want to go out there and be like, yeah, I don't belong in the summer league team because this is how good I am when I'm fully healthy. And here I go, I'm about to go, you know, murder these dudes on the other team. And instead, it's just kind of like up and down. Yeah, and credit to him, he hit the shot. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he did hit the game-winning shot. So, you know, we can't hate on him and not mention that. But it's just the fact that he's just so kind of nonchalant out there.
Isn't it funny? Like we can't win, right? We're sitting here coddling Romeo, and he hit the game-winning shot. If this were a regular season game, Romeo hit the game-winning shot, and we spent the whole day killing him, the chat would be like, "Guys, he hit the game winner. What's wrong with you?" You know, like
it's just not about the It's just not really
I know. It's just funny.
That's why it is funny, but and that's why like I don't want to not mention it. But it's just it's almost like if you just looked at the box score, if you just watched the highlights, you'd be like, "Oh, Romeo played pretty well," but it's like. He was just kind of like another guy out there, right? I mean, did he really do anything that really stood out to you in the moment where you're like, this guy definitely you can tell he's a third-year NBA player, and you know he's going to be having like 20+ minute a game role on this team. Like I just didn't get that from watching anybody. You know, Neesmith's certainly 1 for 8, was it from 3? I mean, this is a guy that you drafted to be a shooter. John's sitting there telling us he doesn't care if he hits a shot. I mean, that's literally his job is to hit those shots.
Not don't care, but if he was, to me, for Neesmith,
he's got to hit those shots though.
Absolutely, but to me, for Neesmith, I want to see that he knows where he is on the court way more than I want to see the shots go down. Like it's great when the shots go down, but Carson hits shots. I don't care. I want to see him like coming off, clear, catch, shoot, all of that.
He wants to have some court awareness for sure.
Just some court awareness. I want to see him get to spots, get that clean look, and just make it easy. He's one of the most effortful players I've ever seen. Everything is so hard. He makes it, some people make it look effortless.
We said that about Tatum and Brown the first couple years. You're like, it just feels like it's so hard for them.
Yeah, he's trying so hard. And it looks so hard. Like there's very little fluidity and natural stuff where he's just boom, 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 and like, oh, that was butter. Like everything is a bit of a because he's just so all over the place. That's what I want to see more than the shot. What is Romeo's focus? I know they talked about using him more as a primary ball handler this year, and you did see some. There were some times where it looked like he had a bit of a loose dribble, and there are other times where he was able to get into the lane and to make some things happen. So a mixed bag in terms of that front. But like, do you have an idea what each of these guys' marching orders was? Like, what is Romeo's mission? Because we talked about like
what was Romeo's marching orders?
No, because at home you want to see. At home the reaction is, and we talked about this at the beginning is. We want to see guys like Romeo Neesmith dominate, because you want to see that they're a level above these guys in the Vegas League because they're going to be asked upon to be rotation players. But if they have specific jobs to do or specific roles, that changes the context of evaluating their performance. So what is it you think they most want to work on with Romeo?
Well, with Romeo, I think, as I just said, him making open shots. Because if Tatum and Brown are doing the things that we expect them to do, that's going to create opportunities for guys like Romeo who are on the floor to make shots that are wide open. And so for him, that I think is one of the primary things they're looking to do. But more than anything else, John, and you touched on it a second ago, he does have what I would consider a little bit of a loose dribble. And I think he needs to tighten that up a bit. And I think that's something that they're certainly looking to work on, not only in the summer, but also in preseason training camp. But as far as Romeo is concerned, I mean, I think for his first game in Summer League, he did, for the most part, what they were hoping that he would get accomplished. And to me, again, that shot that he hit at the very end, those are the kind of shots that Romeo wouldn't either not be on the floor in that moment, or he'd be on the floor and nowhere near the ball. So he needs to become more comfortable, not just taking that shot, but also making it. And he did that today.
What about Nesmith? What your impressions there? And again, just to share what we said on the front end, our vibe again with Nesmith was he still looks bull in a china shop-ish at a game and playing in a game there you wouldn't expect. You understand NBA with no training camp coming out of half a season at college to be too fast. And you would explained why he was running around and he looked lost and crazy at times last year. Effort was there, but he was all over the map. You don't expect to see him carry that play over into summer league. And he did kind of look like the same guy.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this was just one of those games for him and that he will get better as we go along the summer. Because you're right, he looked exactly like what we saw in the regular season. And that's not good. That is not good. That doesn't give the Celtics what they're going to need from him. They're going to need him to make shots, which he did not do a good job of. They're going to need him to make hustle plays, not just hustle plays, but like under control hustle plays. He's great energy-wise, but he does seem to be a bit out of control, and it felt that way for long stretches in this game. So he needs to really – that's part of what his, I think, plan going forward is, to refine that energy and effort, refocus it so that he's making plays that make the team better, not just making plays because they're effort plays. Because as we all know, every effort play is not a good one.